Hello, welcome to More Yoga with me, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. You might be wondering, what? She's standing. She's usually sitting down. Well, you nailed it. Today we're going to do a class that starts, and actually, for the vast majority of it, we will be standing. Because I know for some people with low blood pressure or high blood pressure, or in fact, just a slower rate of movement, the up down of yoga can be a little bit challenging. And it's interesting for me too to change it up a little bit here to do some things that are all standing poses. Now, that's not necessarily to mean that it's going to be easier or harder, but we're not going to be doing the up and down off the ground. We will finish on the ground though. So if you want a pillow or something like that for your body, once we're down, then that could be really a good thing to have. Okay, so let's start standing if you would like to, just change it up a little bit. You might take a little rock from side to side on your feet or even forward and back. You can draw circles here. You can have your hands on your hips if you want to, but it's more just about finding sort of a centered position. And then maybe you're comfortable closing your eyes here. And then for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. 2 more. And then continue breathing however you need to, whether it's in and out through your nose or your mouth. If you feel a bit wobbly having your eyes closed, you're welcome to have just a single point of focus on the wall or the floor in front of you. We don't tend to notice our breath or to draw our focus to our breath while we're standing. So really start to feel your breath and observe it here. Maybe there's more movement in your body, maybe there's less. Maybe the movement feels different. A few more breaths here. And know that at any point today, if things get too wobbly or shaky, too fiery or intense, if you're able to draw your focus back to your breath, it can help calm the wobbles and shakes, help dispel the fire and intensity. You might even keep your eyes closed here if you wish. Start to bring your left ear to your shoulder. So getting into a little bit of a neck stretch. This might be good for you. You might reach the right fingertips away from you, or you might even reach around behind your back to grab the right forearm with your left hand. Some of you might gently add the weight of your left hand to the top of your head or the side, I suppose, without yanking or pulling. Spine stays nice and long here. So we're not folding sideways, it's just the neck. And then you might need to flick your eyelids open just to see what's going on. Maintaining the lateral flexion of the neck. Start to rotate your nose toward your shoulder and tuck your chin under a little bit more. So you might have your hand on your head, you might not. You might still be reaching for the right forearm. few more breaths here. If you have your hand on your head, gently release it. Bring your chin to your chest. Take a couple little half moon circles of the head or neck or little head bobble in between. And then we'll switch sides. Again, you might have your eyes open or closed, right ear to shoulder now. So we're getting into the left side of the neck. You could reach around with the right arm to grab the left forearm, or you might just reach the left fingertips away from you. You might gently add the weight of your right hands to your head. It's super normal for one side to be tighter than the other. Generally, our dominant side will be tighter, but not always. And maintaining that lateral flexion of the neck, rotate your nose toward your shoulder, tuck the chin under a little bit more. So still getting the left side of the neck, but a little bit more posterior now. And then if you have your hand on your head, gently release it. Bring your chin down to your chest. A couple little half moon circles. Little head bobble. Shake it out. Flick your eyelids open if you haven't already. And shake it all your body. A little noodle. Okay. And then bring your hands to your hips. Do some gentle hip circles. First one direction. And then the other. And then some twists. You can start really gentle, or you might go a bit deeper right away. Make sure that the twists don't go into your knees. All right, and then come back to center. Grab hold of your right wrist here. Pull it over to the left. Bend your knees around through your spine. So from the sideways, you can see I've got lots of flexion through the spine here. Depending on where you're tight, you might stay up higher, you might come down lower. And then inhale, come back to center. We'll switch sides. Grab your left wrist, pull it over to the right. Oh, round through your spine. One side might be tighter than the other. And then inhale, come back to center. Bring your palms to your pelvis. Fingertips point down, feet about hip width apart, little micro bend on those knees, and then wrap your shoulder blades and your elbows toward each other. This might be enough of a spinal extension for you. You're getting quite a bit of opening through the chest and shoulders. If you'd like more, bend your knees, start to press your hips forward, squeeze your bum, squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other to lift the heart up even higher. Maybe you start to tilt back even more. Try not to break the line through the back of the neck so that the neck or the cervical spine stays long as well. As gentle or as deep as feels good. One more breath here. And then inhale. Come back up, shake it out a little bit. All right, you might want to turn to face the long edge of your mat if you want to. I am, because that's how I set up, so it feels good for me. And then take a nice wide stance with your legs. And then feet pointing parallel, so toes point toward me. You don't have to worry about heels being wider than your feet, but you just don't want the toes turned out. And then start to bend into the right leg. So it's almost like a hip hinge. Send your butt back as you bend into the right leg. So it's less upright. You could bring your hands to your right thigh if you want to. Some of you might start to rotate a little bit more. One hand to the outside of the knee. Maybe you slide the right hand down, the thigh to the ankle. You could open that top arm up to the sky. Probably you're getting quite a lot of opening here through the adductors on the left side. Again, you might be up higher, you might be down lower. One more breath here. And then slowly unwind, come back to center. Little wiggle or shake to release. And then send your hips back. Start to bend into the left leg so the right leg stays straight. Different side can be such a different experience. So you might stay up just tall. You might twist a little bit. whether you bring one hand to the knee and one hand to the sacrum, or you might start to reach down to the outer edge of that ankle or calf with the right arm as the left arm reaches up to the sky, right? Wherever you need to be, as high or as low. And then slowly unwind, come back to center. Whew, little wiggle or shake. Let's do it once more to each side, but speeding it up. So reach and twist if you wish to, and then back to center, and then over to the left, reach, maybe you twist, and then back to center, and then bend both knees. We're gonna stay low, shifting from one side to the other. Oh, hello, glutes. You might be feeling your bum starting to fire up here a little bit. Or rather, the muscles of your bum. Last couple breaths here. And then come back to center. Little wiggle or shake. Turn your toes out. And then bring your hands to your thighs as you squat down. Now you can use your hands, press them into the knees to send the knees back to the baby toe edges of the feet. You could stay still, or you might rock a little bit from side to side. Last option here is to dip the left elbow forward, or shoulder rather. Press into the left thigh or knee to get even a deeper adductor stretch here. And then back to center. And then right shoulder comes forward, twisting to the left. Press the right hand into the leg. And then back to center once more each side. And then twist to the left. Back to center. And then come on up. Oh, little wiggle or shake or cat and cow. And then heel and toe the feet back together. Shake out the legs. All right, one more time, we're gonna take them wide. Toes turned out. I just wanted to give your legs a little break. So this is inspired by Tai Chi, which is all about movement of energy, which is all of what yoga is about as well, just from different roots, but they come from the same tree. Now you might not have as wide of a stance here, or maybe you go super wide, but you're gonna flip your palms up as you inhale. Bring the palms up to your heart or your chest. As you exhale, start to press the palms out and bend into your knees. Inhale, flip the palms up, sweep them overhead, straighten the legs. Exhale, squat down, press the palms all the way down through the center line. Flip them up, inhale, bring them up to the heart. Exhale, press out to the side as you squat. Inhale, sweep them up to the sky as you straighten the legs. Exhale, press them down through the center as you squat. 2 more of those. Inhale to the heart. Exhale, anything you don't need in the body, out to the side. Inhale, sweep good stuff up. And exhale, press it down through the body. One more time. Inhale up to the heart. Exhale, getting rid of anything you don't need. Inhale, sweep all the good stuff up. And exhale, bring it down through your body. Come back to center. And then for a couple breaths, eyes open or closed. Feel what you feel. Notice whatever you notice. And then flicker your eyelids. Shake it out a little bit. All right, so we've done this maybe once or twice before. It's kind of a cool way to get into the hamstrings without having to come too far forward or even down to the ground. So send your weight to your left leg and then bring your right heel forward. You're going to bend into that left knee quite a bit. Hopefully this is stable for you. If you're near a wall, you could use a wall. And then bring your palms to touch. Inhale here. As you exhale, start to fold forward, send your hips back, bring the hands to the outside of the right leg. Now you might stay up pretty high, bringing them maybe to the knee, maybe a bit lower, down the leg, maybe all the way to the ankle. And then inhale, come back up. This time as we exhale, you're gonna come straight down through the center. So palms end up between the legs. Again, you could be up quite a bit higher. You don't have to come down as low as I do. Keep peeling those front toes back up though, and then stand back up. This time we're going to go to the left. So hips go back, bend that supporting knee, hip hinge, stay up higher or twist down lower. Keep peeling those front toes back toward your shins though. And then inhale back to center, shake it all out, and then we'll switch sides. So weight goes over to that right foot, a little buoyancy on that supporting knee. Left leg comes forward, peel the toes back, hands to prayer. So we're going to start by going to the left. Inhale here, exhale, hips back. Start to reach over to the left side of the leg, the ankle or the foot. And then inhale back to center. Exhale down through the middle. As high or as low feels good. Make sure it's a hip hinge though. So if I showed you from the side, right, my spine is long. I'm not rounding, right? Hips back. And then inhale back up. Last time over to the right this time. Our spine stays long. Peel those front toes back toward your shins, really opening into the calves as well. And then inhale, come back to center. Shake it out a little bit, a little wiggle. Let's do some hip circles. This is interesting for me. Normally I would go straight into a forward fold here to release through my glutes, but we're not doing that today. So, right, this is cool. It's different for me too, not just for you. All right, feet hip width apart. On your inhale, sit into your chair pose. So hips down and back, tailbone down slightly to feel your belly button engaged toward your spine, and then knees out, right? Make sure they're not caving in. All right, find your balance here. And then start to shift your weight over to your right leg. Come onto the toes on that left foot. Maybe you can take a couple taps up and down, test your balance. Make sure you still have chair pose on that right leg though. So knee and hip in flexion. And then extend the left leg forward. Bring it back to center. You might tap down. And then out to the left and back to center. And then behind you and back and out to the left and back. Watch this one, curtsy to the right and then back to the middle. And then come back to both feet in chair pose. That right leg is going to want to send you to the left. So let's go there. Weight over to that left leg. Right, still chair pose on that left side. Couple taps up and down with the right to find your balance. And extend the right leg forward. And then back to the middle or tap down and out to the right. And then middle. And then back and middle. Back out to the right and middle. Curtsy to the left and back. And then back down to the center. Last couple breaths here in chair, knees out. Tailbone down, belly button to spine. All right, stand up, shake it out a little bit. Release those legs. All right, let's come back to that right leg. A little buoyancy on that supporting knee. Maybe you come to the toes of that left foot, or maybe you pick up the knee. And inhale here, exhale out to the side. If your toes are the floor, you can still do this, right? Back to center, and then out, and center, and out, pause. Now, tree pose. You might bring the foot to the upper inner thigh, to your calf below your knee, or maybe your toes are still on the floor. You can press the sole of the foot into the ankle if you want to. But please don't bring your foot right against the knee. I know it feels kind of comfy there, but knee joints really don't want to be pressed sideways. Trust me. Wherever you are, press your foot into your leg into your foot. Squeeze the bum, belly button to spine, so your roots are super strong. And then maybe you grow your branches up to the sky. Right? It can be wobbly. Trees sway in the breeze. If it's not wobbly enough, go ahead and add some movement or try closing your eyes. If you need to adjust your position, then adjust your position. Last option here, left palm comes to the top of the thigh, lift high on the right side, exhale, side bend over to the left. And then inhale back to center. Pick up that left knee again. And then step it down. Shake it out a little bit. And then we'll switch sides. So weight over to the left foot, little buoyancy on that supporting knee. Again, you might just come to the toes of the right foot, out in, or pick up the right leg. Inhale here, exhale out to the side, and then back, and out, and back. Last time out to the side, pause, figure out where you're gonna go for tree pose, whether it's the upper inner thigh, the calf below the knee, or toes to the floor, sole of the foot press into the ankle, or presses into the ankle. Again, wherever you are, press your foot into your leg into your foot, squeeze your bum, belly button to spine, shoulder blades on the back. Maybe you bring movement here. Maybe you're just laser focused and super still. Last option is to bring the right palm to the thigh, lift taller on the left side, and exhale over to the right. And then inhale back to center, pick up that knee again, and then step the leg down. Shake it out a little bit. Little hip circles, one direction, and then the other. Shake it out. Awesome work, everybody. We're still standing. Not for much longer, though. Take your feet wide again, and then toes point out. And then here we're going to sit down into the squat another time. Hands on the inner thighs or the tops of the thighs. Let's do that little twist again. So bend or dip the left shoulder forward, twist to the right, press that left thigh back, and inhale center, and then exhale opposite direction. Once more, each side. All right, from here, if you wish, spin the toes out, keep the knees bent, and come into your wide leg forward fold. If there's a different way to come into it that will feel better, then by all means, get here however you want to. You might heel into the feet out a little bit wider. We're going to use this as a way to come down to the floor. Hug the legs toward each other. And I want you to check your feet. They don't have to be super wide, but what I want is your heels to be wider than your toes. So your feet are slightly turned in, and this will help protect your ankle and knee joints. Maybe you have blocks to bring underneath your hands or your forearms. Maybe the hands comfortably reach the floor, or your ankles, or your feet, or maybe they reach behind you. Last couple breaths here. And then bend your knees. If your hands are already on the floor, then it's pretty easy. You can bend the knees and come to hands and knees, or heel into the feet together a little bit, enough that you can sort of make your way down. It ain't pretty, it ain't graceful, but it works. And then shift your hips on one side. Take a little windshield wiper of your knees. So as you can probably tell, we're done standing. We're bringing it down to the floor. One last thing, before we come all the way down, bring your hands behind you, fingertips point back, and then wrap the elbows, the shoulder blades toward each other. This might be enough for you. If you'd like to deepen it, then shift your hips forward. Keep the bum on the floor though, and then scoop the shoulder blades toward each other. Lift your heart up to the sky. Really think of rooting your index knuckle mounds down into the floor, or your pointer finger, right? Your pointer finger knuckle mounds. Hopefully you're feeling something now across the front of the chest, across the front of the shoulders, maybe down the upper arms. And then slowly bend your elbows, release, shake it out a little bit. If you'd like to, you can do a Pilates style roll down to the floor here. So tuck the tailbone and start to roll down one vertebra at a time. By all means, come down a different way if you'd like to, whether that's using your forearms or just rolling over to the side and then down. And then once you're down on the floor, draw your knees into your chest, take a little rock from side to side. From here, take your right arm out to the side. You might shift your hips right a little bit to start with, and then exhale, lower the knees to the left for a twist. Now, this could be any variation of twist that you would like, whether the knees are stacked, legs could be crossed, or a single leg twist. You might look along your right arm here to finish off the spiral in the neck. And again, this can be as gentle or as deep as you need. Super normal for a knee or a shoulder blade or both to be lifted off the earth. All right, on your inhale, return to center. Reset your pelvis or your spine. Maybe you shift your hips left a little bit. Left arm goes out to the side. Exhale, lower the knees to the right. And again, you don't have to do the same variation, even in twists from one side to the other. So go where you need on your body. But particularly if you have any chronic issues like a hip replacement or a lack of a hip replacement, one that you're still waiting for. Maybe you have SI joint pain or tightness in your lumbar spine. Sometimes one side can feel delicious and the other side can feel horrible. Sometimes it feels equally horrible or equally delicious. Last couple breaths here. On your inhale, return to center. Reset again your pelvis and your spine. Hug your knees toward you. Take them wide out toward your shoulders or armpits. This can be a really nice place to stay, even with the knees bent like this. It's a really great posture for neutralizing the back. If you want to, you could kick your feet up to the sky for happy baby. You might grab the backs, the thighs, the outside of the legs, the ankles, or the feet. Really similar pose to what we were doing standing, right? These sort of deep squat, except that we happen to be now on our backs, which makes it, well, certainly less strenuous. Might not be easy, but it's less strenuous. And if there's anything else that you feel like you need before your rest, a posture or meditation, please feel free to take it. Otherwise, think about where you would like to go for your final resting pose. You might end up flat on your back with your legs bent or straight. You might rest on your side or in child's pose or a seated meditation. And there's certainly no rush to get there. But once you have found your pose of rest for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. Couple more. And then let go of your breath control. You let go of any last muscle gripping or tension, particularly in your neck or your jaw. With each exhale, let your body melt a little bit deeper into the earth. And take a moment to thank yourself today for coming to your practice and trying something a little bit different. Take a moment to thank your body for moving and breathing for you. And stay here longer if you can, 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.